9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Say his name and he appears. I believe it said.
Hello. Happy hump day. It's a special day. As you hear the sound of my voice, that means the mayor is rocking with you for a special nighttime edition of Women's Wrestling Talk, the Wednesday edition, live for y'all. And we got a lot of beautiful stuff to talk about. A lot of good stuff. You know, happy CEO Wednesdays to all who acknowledge, to all who celebrate. There's no watch along tonight, if you notice. We're at that time slot. Ain't gonna be none of that AEW stuff we've been talking about a lot of wrestling here. And before we get into anything, I want to let you guys know, if you're in the chat, if you're new here, if it's your first time, let us know in the chat where you're from, which city, what state, what country you repping. We want to highlight you guys because you're the best part of Women's Wrestling Talk. And our super chats are enabled. So if you can lend me $1, lend Women's Wrestling Talk $1. We'll make sure we stop the show to give you your flowers and show you all the love and admiration, because you're helping us keep things active, keep giving you guys the right type of content, keep things afloat. Now, before we go further ado, I have to introduce my panel for tonight. We're going to be talking real high level. I have another government official, the quarterback of the Kayfabe podcast, and all things wrestling. Mr. Will Ferrell is joining me for this special edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, have no fear. Your councilman is here, and glad to be here with the mayor and the rest of the panel today to talk some good old wrestling. I like the 7 o'clock. Man, I feel more relaxed. I got stuff done. I'm not rushing. I like this.
And of course, we have the lady of the evening, lady of the hour, lady of all things Canada, the queen of this here ship. And this is how you get an appropriate introduction that is filled with love and admiration. No shade, no disgust, no hate. TK Trinidad is with us.
I have never said spewed hate towards you. Said, what are you talking about?
There's a little bit of misguided hate there. I sense it. You know,
misguided hate.
Right?
It's the streets. We never know if the streets are a compliment or.
When TK says streets now, I just take it as a slur. You know
what I'm saying? And it's right at the fine line of it too. Like she does well at tiptoeing it, of being like, I can't tell if she's doing a slur or if she's complimenting, because we out here working.
Right. I don't know what that's what I'm assuming you're doing in the streets. Is there something else you're doing in the streets that we should know?
Well, when you said about me, it sounded like that. When you said about the mayor, though, it sounded like you got this man being a man of the evening.
Shout out to y'all in the chat. Eric Isaac, left hand up. My commander's brethren. Boza's here. Dylan's here. Zach Minger is here. Appreciate y'all joining us early. Before I go any further, our producer from the future came up with a very lovely theme for this evening. So I just want to make sure we highlight that for our visual aid here. It is CEO Wednesdays with your mayor. That is correct. At this hour on the late night tip, we want to let you know that this Wednesday has been taken over. Just like many Wednesdays in the future. We were off for a little bit, and one of our panelists kind of got ahead of herself. And I want you to know that we're here to stay on Wednesday nights. So thank you, Dylan, for creating that graphic. Before we get into
Dylan, you're about to get in trouble.
AEW stuff, I want to make sure we highlight the best part of this week, the best part of pro wrestling. And that's what we saw last night on NXT. And yes, I got a graphic with my client. We rep it real well. That's how we ended NXT last night. We saw Zaruka and Lola Vice defeat Fatal Influence, who has some chinks in the armor there. I want to ask you guys, what was your favorite part of NXT? There was a lot of eccentric stuff I saw on the show. But what stood out with you guys about last night's episode of NXT? Farrell, I'll start with you.
Definitely the triple threat match. I got to say that triple threat match was incredible. Glad to see that your client is the one that they're focusing on, picking up the pin against Fatal Influence, pinning what it was, Fallon Henley, which I thought was just very cool to see. Glad to see, like, the reps at AAA have been getting in, and I can't be mad at that. Glad to see, The whole Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe thing is still going. And Kaylani being out there, of course, by client getting some shine. That match between Josh Briggs and Ricky Saints. Even though Josh Briggs lost, I'm like, hey man, Josh Briggs getting back. Josh Briggs is starting to look like something and getting it back. Overall, it seems like they're starting to get a little bit back on track with NXT. Looks like we're cooking up something a little bit more. This, like you said, it was eccentric, but it was exciting to watch. I feel like there were no like low points at NXT. Like it had a consistent move to it.
What do you think of the blindfold match?
That's what I was going to ask y'all, because are we leaning a little bit too much into the senses with Miles Bourne? I mean, it was different, but are we going too far left with that?
You know what? The thing I notice is some things work in certain places. When I saw that, I thought about, if this was Monday Night Raw, this might would have got over a little better. But because it was here and it was Lexis King and it was Miles, it was just kind of like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
TK, before I get your thoughts, Courtney, if you have another outburst like this, I will remove you from the chat. We don't do hate speech at Women's Wrestling Talk. Just want to be clear. Don't do hate speech here. TK, Miles Bourne. You're asking what we think about the blindfold match. I thought it was different. I'm trying to figure out where we're going with Lexis King. There was something that stood out in that match to me is when he, I think he tried to, I can't say he looked at the camera because he was blindfolded, but there was a moment where he said, "I'm better than you and you know it," during the match, which is obviously an MJF line. So still a little bit of NXT poking fun at AEW for whatever reason. But let's just stick on obviously the five senses. Are we doing things? Are we doing things to showcase that side of Miles Bourne? Is it in good taste in your eyes, TK?
I'm just reading Courtney's comment. I think it was interesting. I mean, obviously we acknowledge it. It's a big thing that he's doing it, right? But I don't know. It's kind of almost bringing attention to it. I'm interested in Miles. I mean, obviously, I feel like has to be okay with it. It just, I don't know. It seems just kind of off a little bit. Like I wouldn't you can acknowledge it, but I don't want to make it part of his identity. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm leaning into it too.
Yeah. It's the same thing like with Tyra Steele. It's like how we talked about, like, oh, she's an Olympic gold medalist. Let's go the full America route. And we're going to really stick on that. It's like, okay, but what happens when that gets old? Mm-hmm. Then, and now it's personality-wise. Like, again, because Miles is, I feel like, a good competitor, but it's like, okay, now what happens, and it's like not deciding sensitive, what happens when we're done with the whole being deaf thing? Now it's just like, okay, hey, we get it, and you done been here a while. Now what happens when you start? We need you to start winning championships, or we need you to start carrying a division. Like, what does that look like? And I don't think that we've thought about that, because this could have been a regular match between him and Lexis King, and started to become like a great rivalry. Now it's time to be starting to feel like this shenanigans type of deal. You know, like when they used to have people in rivalries, but they just do like little funny things in the match and stuff like that. To have like when Ken Shamrock had to deal with like Bozo the Clown and stuff, like Doink the Clown and everything. Like it kind of gives like that feel. And I'm not sure I like that when it comes to him.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that they don't, like you guys saying, they don't make it his identity, and that we allow him to just be human. We don't need to relate with him because of his disability, which I hope they don't continue with that. Another thing we saw, there was due to distraction. I'll put the disclaimer out there, but Kalani Jordan defeating Blake Monroe after Blake Monroe just got a win over Jordan Grace just this past weekend. Thoughts on that, and where we see Kalani at in this division, and where does Blake go from here? Obviously with the Jordan Grace stuff. TK, I'll start with you.
I mean, I think Blake and Jordan are going to run it back. I think there might be a few call-ups, and with those call-ups, they're kind of positioning Kalani to kind of do more stuff in NXT. Like, you know, she was the champion, and that I don't want to say she fell off. It's like just the natural ebbs and flows in the roster of wrestling. So I feel like they're prepping her for something. You can kind of tell by, and I do love when wrestlers try to experiment for different things. Not everybody strikes gold with like Bianca and the hair braid. So you can kind of tell she's changing up her outfit, she's changing up her hair, she's testing different things out. So I think that they're prepping her for something, as you know, certain wrestlers are going to be called up, you know, sooner or later than the next 3 to 6 months.
All right. Councilman, your thoughts on that outcome of that match?
I thought it was good, especially for us to now see, like, hey, there's a focus that we're going back on, which is our PC girls. We just don't want y'all to think that we forgot about them and that they're starting to get that spotlight. You're seeing her more, like, to TK's point, her testing things out. We're seeing more with Jada Parker as far as when she's not in the ring, being able to be backstage, getting television time, as well as like doing the social media stuff with Shawn Michaels. I think they may be also prepping her up to be NXT champ. Because with the fall of fatal influence, there's gonna be a new space for that. Mm-hmm. And so even the same thing, like I see, to me, it may be weird, but I see Lola in the position of what you're talking about, TK, more than I see Kalani. Mm-hmm. I see like Lola getting the strap. Not to say like her title reign need to be short or nothing like that, but I see her maybe to like holding it for like maybe 3 months, 4 months, and then her getting like a call up somewhere. But I think Kaylani, they need her there to start kind of being that staple, because she kind of falls into that Trick Williams thing right now, which is very interesting. Like, it's there. We just need to see, okay, so what's the next step for you? And so just like how Trick is doing it with the TNA stuff, it's like, okay, we need to see that run for Kaylani before she goes up.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing, while we're sticking on NXT, you mentioned Tyra May Steele, who did pick up a win against Alba Fire, which is really a bigger deal than people might imagine. I know Alba Fire is doing the Secret Harvest thing, but we got to remember this is one of the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, who's still been showing that she's one of the workhorses in this women's division. Do you think that that's a good step in the direction of Tyra May Steele? TK, I know Chelsea Green is going to be a mainstay on NXT for a while with the North American gimmick that she's doing with Ethan Page. The Canadians got the upper hand at the end of the match, but Tyra May still picking up that win is a big feather in her cap. What do you see as the future of her as they're kind of positioning her in this mid-card world of the women's division with so much other talent that's around her?
I think it's going to be interesting because I think even in LFG, they were trying to figure out what would be the better position for her. I definitely think she leans more into heel, which is interesting because, you know, you have the gold medal thing and also where we are in politics and then playing a heel. It's going to be very interesting how she's going to kind of navigate through that. I still think she's trying to find her character. And she's come a long way. Like I always reference it. I think back to, you know, when I saw her in Vegas, whenever that was that 2019 or something like that for SummerSlam when she first won. It was 2020 when they won the Olympics. And, you know, very shy. She wasn't necessarily the outspoken one when they introduced her. And then to see her now, you're seeing the progression. So I think this is going to definitely, you know, they've invested in her because we're now in 2025. So it's 5 years later. They've invested in her. So I think, you know, we're going to just have to give her some time to find her voice consistently being on television. I don't know what's in store for her. I think she's going to try a few things until something sticks or, you know, something might not stick. You know, we'll just see how it plays out.
Okay. Now, speaking of NXT and speaking of how things play out, we know AEW was at the 2300 Arena tonight, but there was a certain quote that just came out recently about that. Well, I guess we're calling it the Platinum brand now, where Shawn Michaels has come out and said that he believes that NXT is the best 2-hour show on weekly television, citing the partnership with the CW being exciting, their collaborations with TNA, Noah, and AAA as well. But he said the success really comes down to the athletes that are coming through the Performance Center every single day. And that pipeline is huge with not just things like WWID, but obviously their stuff with the collegiate or NCAA that they have. These athletes are coming in, and we've seen that training is sticking and turning your common collegiate pole vaulter into a professional wrestler. So thoughts on his quote? Do you think he's on mark with this being the best weekly 2-hour show? Keep in mind, I'm going to keep saying 2 hours. There's other 2-hour shows out there. But is this just a little brand love, or how do you guys feel about this? Councilman, I'll start with you.
Hell yeah, you're right. I mean, what we talk about? Like, besides Raw, where else is there to be? Like, let's look at it. SmackDown is 2 hours. SmackDown is okay. If John Cena not there or Cody Rhodes not there, they don't really do much. They don't focus on their tag team. The highlight really do be the women, and it was Naomi, and Naomi's gone now. So it's like, yo, if you feel like you can miss SmackDown, then that tells you a lot. AEW is, we know what their issue is, which is just storyline. Like, not say, but they're not that far from being a great product. But like, if you want something where it's like dope, it's developed, you're seeing stuff develop, NXT is where it's at. TNA is cooking up and getting there, but it's like, you know, this was from a show where it was like just taking a WWE superstar, picking a regular person, picking one of their stars and then seeing who's going to win, to now a weekly programming, to now going from just being Orlando, now being on tour, going to these legendary arenas and stuff to participate, to like be in. People are coming down and want to be a part of this place. The Rock shows up. It's like, yo, these are all things where you cannot tell me this is not the place to be. And even your AEW stars, where do they want to go? They don't say like, hey, nah, send me up to Raw and SmackDown right now. Nah, put me through NXT. I want to go there first. It is the place to be right now.
You think Shawn Michaels is, notice I'm calling him Shawn today. He's been treating me right. You think Shawn Michaels is accurate with his sentiments, TK?
Well, I mean, first off, wouldn't you're talking about your baby, your product, your blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it. So on one level, you're always going to think that your project is better than anybody else's. Like, if you don't, then what are we doing? So that's one level of it. And then two, I mean, you can look at, again, and I talk about this all the time, the return on investment, monetary. Like, it'd be a different story if, the wrestlers weren't bringing in, butts to seats and people weren't watching and the ratings were low. Like, I feel like he's not, in addition to going on, I've worked on this project, they have meetings, and I'm pretty sure he's in those meetings where you see how much people are watching, how many people are watching it on a weekly basis. The stands are always full. All that stuff plays a part into whether you have a good product or not. So, I mean, wouldn't you?
Honestly, they ain't had no bad PLE this year.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of brand love, brand supremacy. We already know what the war of attrition is going to be with them placing NXT shows strategically to go against AEW programming, and I'd say it's been pretty even. Yeah. I'd say it's been pretty even. I don't think there's a clear winner there, but Sean, that definitely.
Is it
claims of like, huh?
Is it not though? This is a performance center show, and you have legends that are going head to head with PC people.
I think there's two different things at play. If you're looking at, again, the numbers game and the return on investment, I think you're right. It leans towards NXT. However, I think the audience for NXT and AEW are slightly different. So there are going to be people who rock with AEW and they don't care if WWE is on the same night. They're still going to go. Because on top of that, too, there's one thing that AEW is doing that WWE may lose some people on. AEW is still catering to their fans, meaning that the ticket prices are not crazy. The wrestlers are still a little bit more accessible. You can go and see different shows, et cetera, except for the ROH thing. and also their pay-per-view. So I guess they're kind of even a little bit that, but it's two different audiences. So I think money-wise, definitely it goes to WWE. But as far as fans are concerned, it's a toss-up. Now, if you watch both products, it really just depends on where you lean in. People, it's like, I'll watch AEW, but if I get these tickets to WWE, I'm definitely going. Or, I'll watch WWE, but, I'm not really going to go and, buy a WWE superstar shirt. It really just depends on the person. I wouldn't say tribalism is stupid. It's very natural. There's tribalism has been around forever. It's when people take tribalism too far and they want to kill somebody because this person, I don't know, bleeds AEW. Like, that's when it's too far. But it's very natural. Tribalism is just it's a part of the game. It's
like a person that's a football star, but also like basketball. Like, my football game is going to be heavy on display, but when they go to commercial, I'll flip to the basketball game that I want to watch.
Yeah,
that's tribalism right there. Same thing we did with the Monday Night Wars. You were either watching WCW, and when it went to commercial, you switched to Raw, or vice versa. So it is what it is. I will say that you have the best Shield member competing against Lola Vice, and Lola's winning. Says a lot.
It's funny. It reminds me that it's probably one of the most popular tweets of all time. The fact that somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I like pancakes," and it's like, "Oh, so you hate waffles?" That's literally what tribalism is. It's like the whataboutism with wrestling. It's like, nah, man, I just enjoy this more, or I like that sometime. But I think you have a good thing with one thing we're doing is we're breeding competition. There's competition in wrestling, so there's going to be some times where one brand is above the other, and there's going to be times where the development looks like the main event, and that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing for all wrestling. Now, our former Wednesday night host was actually at the AEW show tonight in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena. So we got to shout out Stone Cold Courtney Rice. There was a nice card on AEW programming. We saw Daniel Garcia take on Jon Moxley, a Falls Count Anywhere match between Darby Allin and Claudio Castagnoli. We saw the ladies in action. We also had a trios championship match. And I think we kicked off the programming with FTR and Edge and Christian, or Cage and Cope, if you want to call them that. And we had an all-star 8-man tag. Very high-powered show for a Wednesday night. They were bringing wrestling back to the streets of Philly. Either of you had a chance to catch the show? I know Courtney had posted some photography on her socials and in the chat. Looked like it was a good show. Did anybody happen to have any thoughts on AEW tonight?
I saw the women's stuff. I saw the women's match, and I saw also Mercedes Moné's championship celebration, and her goal of getting more than 10 belts, which I feel like you would appreciate. Said the women's match is really good because I believe it might have been a couple weeks ago. Courtney, we were talking about the women's division for AEW and how there are some women who were out due to injury. So it looks like some women are coming back. The tag team match looked really, really good. So it looks like it's set up for something. So, and then I saw a little bit of, did I see it? No, I heard a little bit. So yeah, it was mainly the women's stuff, but I'm curious, again, you would like this said, I'm curious as far as how far Mercedes is going to go, like with everything, and how this is going to kind of end up, meaning like, is she going to get the 12 belts or however many belts? And, how do you go about losing them? Or do you just retire them? Do you give it back? Like, I'm kind of wondering how that, eventually is going to play out. Councilman.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, TK, because I really only want to talk about the championship celebration anyway. It really warms my heart that Courtney had to see that in person. Councilman, you remember when Sindel had to witness what's her face losing in person? This is right up there with that for me. That Courtney had to see this in person.
Please leave Sindel alone. She's in the chat now. She is part of the family. So
yes. And she was humbled that night. She was humble that night.
Yeah, everybody need a little humble pie now.
Everybody need a little humble pie now.
It's a good flavor.
Yeah.
But Councilman, what was your thoughts on this episode of NXT? Obviously at 2300 Arena. We saw Mercedes, like TK said, stake her claim and want even more gold. These are 9 titles now. I believe we even had a throwback moment with our champion Hangman Adam Page, who's probably still in the sphere of MJF cashing in that guaranteed contract. He had a moment with his former tag team partner Kenny Omega as well. So they seem like they put together a really strong show for that arena. I know there was a nice promo package with Taz that was really hinged on we're bringing professional wrestling back to this famous arena.
I was like TK. I checked out the women's match, of course, and then the rest of it. Nah. This is all I wanted to see, and of course, just for everybody to just hate on Mercedes, which I love, and just to let y'all know, y'all sexy because you hate me. Because I saw none of this hate when Austin Aries had all them belts. I didn't see none of this hate when Kenny Omega had all them belts and was the belt collector. I didn't see none of this hate with Ultimo Dragon because I was still in my daddy's nutsack. That ain't the point, though. I didn't see none of this hate with these three people, but for some reason, everybody got something to say about Mercedes Moné, which lets me know she really is the Beyonce and the LeBron James of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that y'all mad because she doing her thing, and y'all just some haters. And you know what? She could have went further and said, you know what? Let me get Tony belt too. But she's being humble. She's uplifting the TBS division.
All the creative control people were shook when she actually lost, and just like, no, I want to make Tony a bigger star. So when I do beat her, there you go.
Exactly. We even got people paying money so that Mercedes can get 15 belts.
We interrupt this for a quick message. Shout out to Dylan for dropping $15 in the chat. He says he's dropping 15 United States dollars. That's right, USD, not Canadian dollars, to represent the 15 belts Mercedes has and is about to win and show off. Shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan Matthews, for hooking us up, hooking up the WC family. Remember, you can always donate, and we'll make sure we shout it back to you. We appreciate you, Dylan.
Yes, indeed.
Appreciate you.
But yes, man, I'm glad to see it. Y'all keep hating. Keep hating on Mercedes. It's dope. I love it because, again, y'all didn't hate on nobody else like that. So that let me know what generation we in. The more you hating, like 50 Cent, I need you to hate so I can use you for your energy. As she lifts up the women's division.
Sindil says she's maybe top 20 in the ring, being honest. Sindil, I challenge you to name 19 better women. I want to see it.
In the ring at that.
I want to see what your criteria is for like better in ring, because she's literally elevating women that you never heard of, and now you probably like them because they wrestle Mercedes.
And the belts that she got, think about it, like as they said, like she's champion all around the world. All of these promotions have very different wrestling styles. And for her to be able to go and do all of these and do these different versions of this and still be saying like, hey, we want to put you as our champ, that says a lot. So I really would like to know, who do you think is top 5 best in-ring performer that's topping Mercedes?
That's a lie, Courtney. She says, I have seen some hate with Kenny and people who had the same number of belts as her. Boza says she is getting on my damn nerves. She wanted to dance tonight. That could have been an email. And to that, we can do this.
No, why do you have so many titles? You're ruining wrestling. You're too good. Stop it. Please lose. Please.
Bitch, I'm never gonna lose because I'm the greatest.
We do this every day, Boza. We do this every day.
And that's what Triple H say. Why is it when you start making money, you the devil? When you start getting all these riches, you're the Antichrist. Why is it when you start getting successful, now it's hate? Now it's, oh, she's doing too much. Oh, now she's saying all of this and it's too much. Why? Because she's winning? Like, I don't understand. I really don't get this. Like, what is it about it that like bothers people so much? And again, none of y'all are saying nothing about Athena. Like, she shouldn't still be champ. She's 900 days as champion. Why? When somebody gonna beat her and give it up? I don't hear nobody saying this.
Well, I think a couple of things with the Athena unfortunately, and if you're in the chat, Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there are a few people that could replace Athena, but I don't really think that they can stand what Athena's doing. I think,
and to your point, there's nobody that can do what Mercedes is doing.
Well, I think right, but I think with Mercedes, the sticking point, or what people are kind of maybe weird on, is the fact that she's almost doing it. Not almost, she's doing it without WWE. She had so much success at WWE. She, we all kind of know the story. If you don't know, then I don't know, tell you like what happened. And she bet on herself. And I think it's easier to hate on, because you betting on yourself means that, in regular people's terms, is you quitting your job and you starting a business and actually being successful. The percentage of people who actually, that happens is very low. So we're seeing somebody who's betting on themselves and is doing it on their own terms. And of course you would hate, because you're not doing it in your own life. So I think that's what's happening.
Even with Boza, she's 24-1. Wasn't Goldberg 175-0? And y'all cheered every week. Excuse me, we cheered every Monday.
Yeah,
when we beat them in 5 minutes. So again, what are we doing?
I think attention spans have just gotten shorter, obviously. But I mean,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like, come on, we've seen far worse runs in just wrestling. Think about any other sport, but like in just wrestling, we've seen far more egregious things than this. But the thing that is all I always come back to is that we literally have somebody who's willing to go around the world. And this is where we debunk the whole creative control thing. We debunk it because it's like these promoters, these promotions are all saying like, hey, yes, can you come here and give us a platform, or let us share your platform? You get to elevate a younger talent that's relatively unknown to the rest of the world. And she's uplifting these promotions. Now women's wrestling as a whole is being promoted. It's only a win from my eyes. I think Sindel has finally responded. Should I read?
You got one on there. I already know. You could definitely take home.
Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Charlotte, Julia, Naomi, Shuri, Thekla, child, please. Saya Kamatina, AZM Azumi. I'm not even going to start there. Liv Morgan's a better wrestler than
Liv Morgan?
Are you high?
I'm like,
Roxanne
what?
Sari. You know what? Just I'm glad I read this quote, Sindel. But one thing I see, this is not 19 names. That's where I'll start. You said 19. I expect to see 19, which you did not do.
Well, to be fair, she said off the top of her head. Off the top of her head.
You say 19. You guys show me the proof.
But Liv Morgan better than Mercedes Moné. That's a stretch. That's a stretch right there.
Charlotte's I mean, you can debate some of the four horsewomen and stuff like that, and the Joshis who've been wrestling around the globe. But one thing Mercedes done is that she's proven that she can go to other territories, learn those styles, and pay homage to those styles, whether it be Japanese wrestling, strong style, the European style, UK style wrestling. She's gone these places to these gyms and trained to be better at that. She's not dishonoring any territory she's gone through. She's almost saying like, hey, I want to be able to work any style so I can promote the person across from me. There's no other women's wrestler that is doing that.
Yeah.
None.
And a lot of these that you did name don't have that. Like, don't have that multi in-ring performance style like that. Like, I'll give it to Io, but again, we only seen Bianca Belair in WWE. You put her in AEW, would this be the same scenario? Now, and again, we not saying Liv ain't underrated, Sindel, but as far as wrestling wise, Liv has never given me a Mercedes Moné in-ring performance.
She's not there yet, though. Like, what's the number of years Liv has been in the game to Mercedes?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's that far off. I'm saying as far as like marquee matches, because I remember Liv was in NXT for a bit as well. And I love Liv Morgan. She's probably most improved of many women's wrestlers, but to compare the two, and that's not a slight at all. It's just somebody's doing something that we've never seen before. And I think that's why there's so much resistance to it.
Yeah.
When somebody else comes and follows the same trail that's been blazed, they'll probably be more receptive to it.
Mm-hmm. And the fact of what the perception that we put on it, which is, I think, also one of those things, like something that like Charles Barkley said, like, yo, I am not a role model, so don't put me in there. And the same thing with Mercedes, don't put me in this box of, oh, y'all think that I should be humble. Like, oh my God, I think
that's
you
the other thing, she's not humble.
Yeah, and it's like she don't have to be.
She's in character like 99% of the time, though. Like,
and
I think that's what gets misguided too. Is like, oh, she's arrogant. She's like, no, she's literally in character. Like, isn't that what you guys want as wrestling fans? Mm-hmm. Somebody to believe and buy into their gimmick.
And if you're getting upset, that means it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which again, another reason makes her the greatest. But we'll keep it pushing.
Councilman mentioned the name underrated, and there's a name that came up into the news today from one Rhea Ripley saying that Candice LeRae is probably the most underrated woman in the locker room. She was asked a question. She said somebody she loves is Candice LeRae after going through NXT and seeing her style and how her brain works and how she goes out there and just gets the job done. She's a true vet, and she wishes she could get more opportunities. What do you guys think about Rhea pretty much giving Candice her flowers? I know most notably we've seen Candice be speed champion this year. She was a part of that six-pack challenge TLC in SummerSlam and took that nasty spot. And she'll actually be in competition, I believe, next Tuesday in the Speed Championship qualification to challenge Soaruka. But do we want to see more of Candice LeRae, who quietly has done the same thing that we saw Becky Lynch do and down the path Naomi's on, where she had a child, took some time away, and she's been back in full-time capacity in ring. But it's almost like we don't even think about her in that capacity. TK, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you also have to talk about her indie career before she got to WWE. She had a really lengthy indie career, I believe, out here in California. It's kind of one of those things where if you guys been following, like I say a few sayings all the time, it's like there can only be one LeBron. And it's like, yes, she's definitely underrated, but you know, not everybody is going to be a Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley, etc. So I think, yes, she's deserving of more. Will she get more? It doesn't look like that's, you know, the path for her in the WWE world. So it's unfortunate, but it's just kind of like, it's the business in the game. They might not see, they might, I don't want to say it's not value. They just might not see it in her in that sort of way. And then also too, I really think that they look at stuff like t-shirt sales. And if you don't have t-shirt sales, are the fans calling for you? Those type of things kind of, I think come into play. Or if you're really active on social media and somebody at TKO like wants to see you, like all those little things come into play. And I don't know if that's the case with her. It's not taking away from her talent. It's just business wise, I don't know if we're going to see it.
Councilman, on kayfabe, you guys do a great job of putting people where you think they should be within the company. Where can Candice LeRae get these extra opportunities in your eyes?
U.S. title. That's why I slightly disagree with what TK is saying. I think if this was 3 years ago, she'd be absolutely right. Because right now, she's not viewed as a champion. So she's not viewed as someone that could carry the whole women's division. And it's true because it hasn't been showcased. Like even from her time being on SmackDown, it was her with her husband and then her with Indy Hartwell, then off camera. Then when they did do it, she's with Nia Jax. So she's never really had time to just be able to come out on her own and show what can be done. But now that you have a mid-card division, this should be one of your prime players to start being able to build up as far as this goes. But also, y'all are just letting Julia sit in the back with her manager or assistant, whatever, and y'all not really giving us no showcase of the Women's U.S. Championship, which is why Chelsea Green came to NXT. But it's like if they decide to give her a chance and she could make that U.S. title relevant more than what they're doing. Not saying Julia is not doing it. They're just not doing anything with that one or the U.S. title as much. Like we get to see more of like Solo showcases personality, but y'all are not really paying attention to these belts, and that kind of sucks. But I think that's where if Candice LeRae could get some kind of shine, it would be there. But she also needs new music too, because that that music don't be letting us know that's her. Like if you give me a crowd shot and it start playing, I'm not gonna know who that is until I see on screen Candice LeRae.
I'm gonna look ahead here, and I know Candice LeRae is a former speed champion. Would you guys be here for a program with Candice LeRae and Sol Ruka for a series of weeks?
Yes, I can see that. But for the North American title, like give me that instead of the speed championship.
Yeah, I think the speed championship is slowly. I don't think it's going to be here next year this time.
No.
So I think it's slowly phasing out.
Really? Now
Yeah,
hold on, wait a minute. We know Sol Ruka's double champ, but we know who the other speed champion is now. That's Big Grande.
Yeah,
Big Grande move units now. Let him show up on NXT with that belt.
Yeah, but that particular style of match doesn't. It gives you the same vibes as the Heritage Cup. And look what the Heritage Cup did. So again, it was good for social. It was good to be on there, but it's one of those like it's a novelty belt at the end of the day.
It was created strictly for Twitter, and we don't know what happened, but clearly a deal didn't go through, or they just decided not to do it. And it could be either political, or it could be like we're not seeing a return on our investment on this. So it doesn't. I don't see it here in the next year. So I also feel like they might test it out to see how it does on NXT, but I think there's other things that they can do without having that.
TK just DM me on the side. We will have a WWT championship that will be defended at all PLEs, with TK being the first title holder and defender of the belt. So
wow,
look out for that in the streets, as she likes to call it.
That's wild. That's wild. Okay, you made yourself champ. Crazy.
Wow. I guess if you can show where the receipts or what message this came from, you could screenshot it and put it up there. Let's see.
Give me a few minutes and I'll do that. But I'm running a show here.
Right,
I like to
right.
I like to steer a clean ship, not like that other former Wednesday night host. Our next topic for the day, we had news on the Bella twins. We know Nikki Bella will be in action against Becky Lynch this weekend for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, but we know she keeps getting asked about her sister, Brie Bella, who was hopeful to come to the company for a final run with her sister, but there's some maybe backstage politicking because obviously her husband, Bryan Danielson, is a member of the AEW brand. And it's probably holding up things because of TKO's pettiness. But she says she keeps pushing it. All the women want her back, and they keep asking me every week, and that decision has not changed. I don't think legacies should be determined on spouses, but I understand the business. What do you guys think about this? Because obviously we're losing out on printing money with the Bellas possibly going for a tag team run here. But if that's really the holdup, does WWE or TKO, I should ask, do they budge on that? Councilman, I'll start with you.
She knocked lived out the last time she was here. Let Brie stay where she at.
Oh my goodness.
Let Brie stay where she at. Ain't the last couple times she didn't come back, she didn't hurt people. Let Brie stay where she at. If you want to make it, and you know what, too, to be honest with you, if I was to take that back, give that a WrestleMania run. Like, wait till we get like near Royal Rumble, let her surprise everybody, and let the Brie mode music hit. And then let them get the titles at WrestleMania and make a boatload of cash. And then after that, be done with it. But I don't think she needs a stint in here where it's like, oh, she finna be here for the next like few years. It's like, no, I don't think that's necessary.
TK, what are your thoughts? Do you want to see the Bella twins with this generation of women's wrestling? What do you think about what's holding up Brie actually coming back to this women's division?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I think Nikki says that the girls are asking for her. So I don't know if there is a conflict. I mean, yes, obviously the conflict of interest because who she's married to, but I mean, didn't we have a couple? I mean, we had
ain't Rhea married to Buddy?
Right, and then we had Meechin and Keith Lee. I know he's no longer with the company. We had Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. So I feel like that might not necessarily be the case. There might be something else. Just because people want her in the locker room doesn't mean it makes sense business wise. So I feel like there's something else that's going on. Like because it also seems like it's the Bella twins. So it feels like you're leaving money on the table. So why would you leave money on the table purposefully? So I feel like there's something else that's happening behind the scenes that we don't know.
I think Brie just don't want to do it.
That could be it too.
Okay.
Like, I think Brie, I think Brie just like, yo, Brie said her goodbye and she good.
So maybe Nikki just doing some media damage control there by the people that are asking.
Well,
yeah, people would probably ask too. Yeah,
probably, but also too, I could see Nikki like wanting, like, you know, they didn't have tag team title belts when they were there, so I know that's something like there's an aspect of that, like outside of just like being a part of the best women's division right now and wanting to make that history. It's like, yo, I want to hold these title belts for my sister. But I can see to her sister's standpoint, like, yo, she got kids, she got a husband to take care of, like, you know, she's been in mommy mode for years now and wife mode for years. So to maybe have to come out of that and start getting back in shape, not saying she's out of shape or nothing, but like wrestling shape,
right,
and being back on the road, like that's a whole lot to want to take on. And we've seen like Nikki has not really stopped. Like she's transitioned from wrestling to going straight to the media with hosting Netflix live events, all kind of stuff that she's doing. So she's been consistently in it. But Brie left her mark. So I can see a thing of her not wanting to come back.
That's interesting. I mean, I think it would be fun to have. We already know how WWE feels about tag teams. They're always pairing single stars to be their tag team champions. But I think it would do good to have teams like the Bellas back for this women's division, like the Iconics or Inspiration jumping over from TNA for the women's division, so we can see what real tag team wrestling is like. Hell, I would love for Candice LeRae to pair back up with Indy, since Indy's in TNA, to have actual tag teams run for the women's division, so we don't have to keep doing the bigger stars holding up the division and holding these belts. Because I can guarantee you, and if I'm wrong, I will come on here and admit it, I do not think that Charlotte and Alexa are going to travel to NXT with these belts. I just can't see it.
Wait, hasn't Charlotte's gone down there though, right?
Yeah, she has. Like a one-off.
Yeah, I don't, but there's not a tag team there that you need to go down there for anyway.
Well, they're trying to build it. I mean, I can see with the Fatal Influence, I can see with the culling, like Paxley and Izzy Dame. There's people there that warrants it, even if like we don't have Metaphor anymore. There's still some that can use that. Hey, we're working with these vets in this high profile fashion.
The ones that got it are the ones that you could easily have them go to an episode of the main show, like how they did Zaruka at Evolution. Like I see it like that, but again, I don't see them having to go down there for that. Like that women's tag team division over there is kind of because Fatal Attraction don't really need it. The culling is cool, but it's like Izzy Dame is getting up there where it's like, yo, can y'all put her back in the NXT Women's Championship picture? And then for Tatum, like put her in the North American Championship position.
What about the Elegance brand? Since Dana is like, well, Ash is Charlotte's former protege. Would that be something you're interested in?
I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think it would help TNA a lot. If they went there and that was the challenge for that. I think that would be cool. Will they do it though? Like you said, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, we'll have to see. TK, what's your morning drink of choice?
Water or a pre-workout.
What about you, Councilman?
Jesus juice.
Yes. Juice. We all need Jesus. We all need Jesus juice.
That Jesus juice is getting me started.
Well, somebody like myself, I'm a matcha N-word, but I also like coffee. And you know what? TK has something good for you guys, so I'm going to share it with you. You need a coffee that won't powerbomb your sleep schedule? Savoristas got you. And we got a premium craft decaf, half calf coffee, bold flavor, no jitters, made from high altitude Arabica beans, naturally decaffeinated with no harsh chemicals. Bourbon, pecan, decaf, mint, and mocha. We got all the flavors, and we got an exclusive code for you to bring it to you directly to your homes. It's Savorista Coffee. We give you 25% off just by being with the WWT family using our code 691793. That's savorista.com, because cutting caffeine shouldn't mean cutting flavor. We want you to have all the flavors, just like all that stuff in TK's background right there. All the flavors of body oils and butters and all that. Some nasty stuff goes on there. But with coffee, it don't got to be nasty. It got to go down good and be flavorful. And we got that covered for you with Savorista. Again, that code is 691793, savorista.com. You don't get that on AEW Watch Along. I just want to point that out as well. This is going to be one of those episodes where, We got some other news about the Hall of Fame. Deonna Purrazzo was asked who should be next up in the Hall of Fame. She cited Mickie James, saying that a lot of the women from her era have had that honor. So naturally, she feels like Mickie James is up next and deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame for her being a trailblazer in the industry and from so much learning coming from her work and her career. Guys, do you feel like this will happen in 2026? I know the Hall of Fame this year to me was kind of light, but I know Mickey's been around. I know I interviewed her back at the Comic-Con here in Ontario, but it seems like it's a natural accolade for her. I think she's done some producing backstage. She's been around the company, but she hasn't had this accolade yet. TK, what do you think?
I mean, of course, she's done so much. And outside WWE with WWE, she's put up with a lot as well. And she's just a wealth of knowledge, and she's just a really dope person. Like, just super humble. Like, I think it definitely is time for her. Especially a lot of the stuff that she did in the first season LFG too. You can just see that she's passionate about it.
Councilman, do you think this is a natural space for Mickie James next?
I mean, I guess, if you go with what TK's saying, I guess so. You can put her in Hall of Fame.
I don't know if Gail will ever make it to the Hall of Fame because of how much stuff she said about WWE.
I mean, yeah. And for Mickie, I don't think she should be put in until she makes a public apology, because she know what she did. She know what she did. You don't remember TK?
No.
This is how I know she don't watch WWT. This is how I know. She don't be paying attention to us.
What Mickie did to WWT?
Nah. She called Alexa Bliss biscuit butt.
Oh.
Set her on a spiral. And I ain't like that. I ain't like that from Mickie James. So when she apologizes, then you know what? Yes. Top Hall of Fame choice. Top yes, top of it. But outside the character that I prefer, yes, I think she definitely should get it. Hopefully they change the Hall of Fame a little bit too, because like you said, it was light this year.
Yeah, I think when they try to blend it too much with everything that's going on WrestleMania weekend, and especially the fact that I think that it's after SmackDown now, so you're already sitting through a show and then got to sit through another one.
It's a lot.
I think the Hall of Fame was better when it was its own separate thing. So like if you put it on that Thursday night and it's like, hey, we're doing the Hall of Fame ceremony, of course it's going to run into other shows. We saw how it was in Vegas. If it runs into the TNA show, that's fine, because you'll have people just there to give their flowers to the legends. And that's really what the Hall of Fame is all about. Like, you're going to have there'll still be fans that can attend that event, but you shouldn't put it after SmackDown because it's going to have the fatigue factor there.
Or should we move it to SummerSlam?
Hall of Fame ceremony? Well, that's tough because, I mean,
you still got the thing of running into somebody.
Right. They're running into somebody, but like I think Courtney and Honey were the only ones in kind of there, but let me know. I feel like SummerSlam didn't have as many shows as WrestleMania did. So it's like more of kind of, because the thing is, it feels like it's rushed. So it's like if you really do want to go to the ceremony, or even if you're in the ceremony, you just feel like you're kind of pigeonholed into, okay, well, we're putting it after SmackDown. opposed to actually giving it, giving you your flowers and letting you enjoy the day, etc. So it feels like since we've already expanded SummerSlam to 2 days, we can add Hall of Fame because it doesn't seem like as much stuff. Now, is there? I don't know. Y'all let me know.
I still feel like the Hall of Fame needs to have like an actual location.
Yeah.
I think with all the money TKO has, we need to start there. Just like you have Canton, Ohio for the NFL, you can have so much memorabilia to represent these Hall of Famers. Just like it makes me think, like, what was the WWE Treasures show for, if not to showcase all that stuff in a location? If they can do that, the way they're kind of money hungry right now, you can have your own WWE Disneyland where people are just going to look at old stuff they grew up watching. And then every now and then you have a list of superstars who are there giving autographs, and like you're paying for that experience. I don't know why that hasn't come to fruition yet.
I mean, they do it in Riyadh, so I don't know why you can't bring that over here. But I'm with Mayor. Like, just do it on Thursday. Like, and you don't have to do it at like when TNA come on. Like, do it at what time does TNA usually air? 5 o'clock on Thursdays?
Yeah, 5 our time.
Do it earlier. Do a Hall of Fame at 3 o'clock. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, because again, like the superstars don't have to worry about getting ready for SmackDown.
Right.
And you can have it to where it's a full out show for them to be able to talk about, and just put it in the morning and just put it in the afternoon.
Right. And you have everybody getting ready. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Like that way, again, you're not trampling over nobody. Nobody's partnership is getting, messed with. And it adds to the week of WrestleMania. Because if you're telling me, like, if I'm finna shell out some of the prices I've been seeing for WrestleMania, which is just WrestleMania alone, is $50,000 to sit at the floor. If I'm deciding like, hey, I want to go all out and want the whole week, like, give me Monday Raw, give me Tuesday NXT, let me take a break Wednesday, Hall of Fame Thursday, SmackDown Friday, and then the big show Saturday and Sunday. Then I have a full, and I almost have 7 days of wrestling for the WWE. And these legends get a chance to really be able to talk, really say their stuff, really actually have a stage, not a ring with no rope and it looking kind of awkward like a graduation ceremony. Like, bring this stuff back and then have some of like their old, like to Mayor's point, bring out some of their old memorabilia right there. Like, like the little models and have their outfits right there. Some of the legendary like things they had, like when Stone Cold was there, he should have had the Smoking Skulls belt sitting out on the side and stuff. Like, we should be able to see these things and see the memories that they've given. Because I think they did that with Undertaker. Wasn't his coat on stage with him? Like, it's
like we see stuff like that with the whole WWE world when they put it around the bigger events. But it's like, why not make that a year-round attraction? Like, remember when they were in Philly last year and they just had, I don't even think it was advertised, but The Rock was at one of the things doing like a Q&A. So you can clean up so much money if you just be like, oh yeah, and you might do it like last minute, like 2 weeks out. And it's like, oh yeah, Triple H is going to be doing a live Q&A, Damian Priest, Bret Hart, whoever. And it's just like year round, you can do that. And it's like, it can be destination based around your PLEs, but it can just be a standalone location where people can just go. Because there's no more Titan Towers. So the headquarters are going to be moving to Vegas. So I have to think that has to be in like the ground stages of planning Hall of Fame in Vegas. Think of the tourism dying in Vegas right now. How big that can be just to get WWE fans there. It's like, oh, I'm going to go check out the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah. That's Beulah in the background yelling CEO, by the way, if you guys didn't hear that in dog speak. We got some injury updates before we get up out of here. Swerve, who competed this past weekend, just underwent successful meniscus surgery. So we wish him a speedy recovery. He should be coming back real soon. Of course, also, Kevin Owens gave us an update on his neck fusion surgery. He said he had a successful surgery, pretty stressed going into it, but he had a good doctor. He does expect his hope is to get back into the ring next year, but there's no guarantees. But he did let us know that there's so many levels to fusion surgery that can happen. He said he was thankful that this only ended up being one level. And he actually also just tweeted out today, because there's a lot of chatter going around Kevin's appearances in the streets and stuff like that, because I guess he was at NASCAR recently. People noticed that he was noticeably thinner. He said, guys, don't panic, don't worry, I'm still fat. everything's okay. But
Wow.
what do you guys think about these updates? And what do you guys see for the recovery for Kevin Owens and Swerve leading into 2026, 2027?
I think for Swerve, I mean, he's definitely he's like the AEW's one of top dogs. So I'm sure they can't wait for him to be fully recovered to enter him to storyline. And then KO, like, I mean, he's been around forever. He always figures out whether it's his ideas or he has, a writer or somebody who's, team KO. I think he's gonna, come back and have a feud with somebody, or he might have a feud with Sammy again, which, they find different ways, creative ways to run it back. So I don't think it's, I think they'll be just fine.
I want to see the straps back on them boys next year. I need to see Swerve as AEW champion, and I need to see Kevin Owens get that belt. That's what I need.
Ooh.
Cena's
that would
gone.
be great and heartbreaking at the same time. If Kevin was the one to end Sammy's reign, even if it was like abruptly.
Yeah. I'll take that. Or even end Cody's. Because I don't think him and Cody's beef really should have stopped. And Cody's champion. So it's just like, hey, we're back to an even playing field with it. So if somebody got to step down from it, let KO be the one to take the strap off of him. And like you said, or Sammy, if Sammy takes it off of Cody.
I like that.
Would say a lot. That would say a lot.
That would be dope. I'm still here for whatever Sammy character arc we have, but I'm glad to just know that the surgery went well. I think for some people, you see complications and it's a little bit deeper. Like, think about how long, like the complications that Kenny Omega had and the stuff that Randy Orton had. The fact they only had one major hurdle to get through and not several. Thankful for the doctors, because people were really worried about KO's career moving forward. And it seems like that we now have like a sliver of a chance where the rehab and the recovery, that the road and the path is at least there.
Yeah.
Now, I want to end our show on a positive note and kind of a fun note, because there's been some clips going around for the WWT live shows as they're doing the European tour. And if you haven't been living under a rock, you might have seen the councilman's client deliver a Pop Rocks to CM Punk. And it prompted a response from AJ Lee, who is CM Punk's real life wife, where Roxanne said, "Hi, Mom," and tagged AJ Lee. And AJ Lee said, "Hey, my daughter has never done anything wrong in the history of her life since birth." What do you got? I'll start with the councilman on this. This is a fun moment. They have a lot of fun at the house shows. It sucks that we don't get house shows as consistently as we used to, at least here in the States. But when they go over into the European territory, they do it big. But this was a moment that's obviously been circulating the social media all week. Councilman, your thoughts?
I mean, 10 out of 10. I ain't even had to see just the clip itself. 10 out of 10. What a great way to have ended off the wrestling week, having that happen. And I think just, AJ Lee responding just hopefully prompt something. I don't know when, I don't know if, I don't know will she do it, but it's like, hey man, my clients at the main roster, CM Punk is there, your husband and your daughter are both on the same show. Like, can we finally get a return from you? That's all I want to know. And now you responding at it too. So it's like, and at Comic-Con, you said you do miss it. So it's like, AJ, it's the same thing like I say with Saraya. Can we get y'all in when the women are at their peak? No, let me say that. They're not at their peak. They're not at their peak. They are just getting started. They're not at their peak. Just getting started. But can we see y'all a part of this great time in women's wrestling? So I just hope this just got us closer to the goal line with her responding. But I love to see it. I love to see the intergender interactions starting to happen more. I'm glad we're starting to see that like we do get to see in the indies. So hopefully, they start to implement this a little bit more on main television and stuff.
TK, did you happen to see this clip? And what are your thoughts on, obviously, interaction with Roxanne Perez and her wrestling pops, CM Punk?
I mean, we've seen them interact before, so I mean, they're definitely keeping up with, I guess, social media. As far as AJ, I mean, it's almost like the Rock situation. Like, I don't think I know everybody wants it, but she's so busy doing other things that I don't. Yeah, I don't. If she hasn't even made like a one-off and appeared, like she doesn't even have to wrestle. She hasn't even done that thus far. I don't know if it's happening. But I do love the fact that she's engaging. So at least she's not like, some people are like, nah, I'm done. Like, don't at me, don't tweet me. I know my husband's there, whatever. But at least she's engaging. She's acknowledging.
TK, I need you to believe like Joe Hendry. I need you to believe like Trick is gonna come out with the oiled up chest every Tuesday night. I need you to believe, okay? Now I believe that I made it happen with The Rock. I said The Rock need to be on NXT. What happened? We got The Rock on NXT.
Beginning of the year.
Yes, I say we need AJ Lee here. Just one time. Let's make it happen. And again, I'm the same thing with Saraya. Let's get them both in there. And let's blow the roof off this son of a bitch of WWE. You know how crazy people would go if they were both at WrestleMania.
I agree. I just don't know if it's happening.
Nick Khan, get the checkbook out. Stop playing. Get the checkbook out. Put about 8 zeros for both of them, and let's get this done.
Just gotta believe, TK. Speaking of Joe Hendry was wrestling The Miz on a WWE European Tour show. So anything is possible. Think about how many body butters you can sell if we just get one of them in the hand of Trick Williams.
Exactly.
Just one.
Yep. You got to believe, just like I believe one day I'm going to put this massage oil on a nice, lovely lady. And it's going to be thanks to TK. Okay? You just got to believe, TK. You got to believe.
Just remind me, I need to get my body butters autographed by TK because she makes the big bucks around here. I'm going to have to model a lot of body butter between now and April 2026 so I can get my WrestleMania tickets. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
She's being WWT champion now, got to get her before she can't sign these no more.
But that's all I got for y'all today. The mayor runs a tight ship. The mayor might be late, but we're going to end on time. And that's how we do things on CEO Wednesdays, just so you know. If you didn't see the graphic at the beginning of the show, I'm going to show you the graphic again. It's going to be like this every Wednesday. Since Pimpin' Sense. But fellas and lady, I want you guys to let the good people know how they can support you, how they can find you, and also let them know they're going to have to be here on Friday when the mayor is hosting again. And maybe that host that got removed from the chat for her slanderous comments, maybe she'll be here, maybe she won't. We don't do hate speech at WWT. Councilman, how can the good people support and find you?
You can find me on all socials at 5 letters, 1 word. ... all socials and YouTube and Twitch. And then check out the Kayfabe podcast. We will be going live tomorrow. We will be doing a writer's room where we're creating our own Clash at Paris and what should be going down, like an actual women's world heavyweight match that is not happening for some reason. And we got some more stuff, and we got something very dope that's gonna come out next week. We're gonna have a very, very special guest. Thanks to TK, always doing her thing, being the WWT champion and having the big bucks. She can make stuff happen. Hopefully, she can make it happen to get us in Survivor Series, so I can see John Cena one last time before he goes. Because I'm not going to fucking Boston to watch him wrestle. I refuse. I am like Agent Orange. I refuse to step in that fucker too.
I agree. TK, how can the good people find you and support you? And before, I just wanted to highlight Sindale's comment, the Body Butter Championship, the BBC.
Hey, whoa. Hey, now wait a minute.
Wow.
There's already a BBC champion already on this programming, okay? Let's not do that. We can call it the CIC, the center end champion. That's what we can call it. It's
We don't
already-
want the copyright infringement. I just thought the acronyms would please TK before she gave us her outro. You know.
Oh my gosh. You guys can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. We are going to have some watch alongs and post shows this weekend, this week coming up. We have a dope interview that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks. So you definitely want to check that out. And then also some great news. I am going to be debuting an ebook in the next 6 weeks. So something to look out for too as well. So yeah, you can follow me everywhere, and then make sure you check out Women's Wrestling Talk on social media platforms, and definitely show some love to Courtney. She's gonna be out there in the streets representing WWT with well, all AEW stuff. So definitely check her out as well.
I think Cindel wants me to highlight Courtney's comment before we got out there. She said, wow, hate speech. There's a reason I got a nickname, Stone Cold. Really quickly, anybody can answer this, TK or Councilman. What's cooler than being cool?
Ice cold.
And Courtney, that's what I will be if you give me another negative comment in this chat. I will block you from this chat, ma'am. Do not test me. I run a tight ship on WWT. But that's all we got for you. Again, I don't want to be found, but we could use your support. Thank you, Dylan, again earlier for the $15 US in the super chat. We want to continue to give you your flowers for that. But make sure you like and subscribe our shows, all of our interviews. That helps us out, and it goes a long way. And I'll tell you why, because when you like and subscribe, and better yet, even comment, it gives us other chance to bring in more members to the WWT universe and the family. If we want to bring more people here to watch the mayor, to watch the councilman, and to watch our WWT champion, TK, as she defends this title in Barbados or wherever she's going where the rich folk go in the next 2 weeks. But again, this has been Women's Wrestling Talk. You can follow me on the Twitter streets at CEDSays, on the gram at CEDISTHEANSWER, same as TikTok. I'll be posting more TikToks when I feel like it. Again, I'll be here on Friday hosting as well because I got to pay for my WrestleMania tickets, and TK is cracking the whip, so it's back to work.
Yep. Shout out to TK for making history, being the first Black Canadian woman to be allowed in several country clubs. That doesn't happen often. That does not happen often. And TK is she's breaking barriers out here in the world for everybody. Now, are we invited? Absolutely not. But we know if she's there, I guess, we are represented too. Beulah is definitely invited.
That's about to pound the streets.
This is more slander.
Seth is doing charity work. It's heartwarming, more charity work, my foot. And just speaking of feet, make sure you check out TK's feet page. I will post this in the YouTube channel comments, but that's how we keep a lot of the lights on here. We got to make sure we supporting in all ways. You leave your super chats, donate, buy some of our merch. We got some dope shirts out there. And of course, TK's hidden feet page. I won't tell you the acronym here. If you know, you know. Just know we'll show you how to get there later. But it has been a lovely Wednesday night, a better Wednesday night that I'm sure you guys have had in a very long time. And we'll be back on Friday for the Friday edition with a bunch of news. And of course, our Clash in Paris watch along details and prediction show on that night. It'll be 7 p.m. Pacific time on Friday as well. But until then, this has been Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Peace, y'all.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.